Hi there guys, Sam here. You join me in front of a Ford Focus ST Estate petrol automatic. So this is a super rare car in a fantastic mean green. You might have seen previous videos before. I've driven the Focus ST in Estate in hatch form. I've never driven the Auto, I've never driven the Estate, and this is probably one of the first that I've genuinely seen. The owners literally only owned it for like recently, last sort of month or two. And yeah, I'm super looking forward just to seeing the difference and actually comparing it on pretty much, well, identical roads where I've driven the hatch, where I've driven the manual. So yeah, to give you a really great impression of this fantastic fast Ford. I'm first of all super happy Ford are still sort of producing these kind of cars in petrol form for like enthusiasts to enjoy. But let's just go around this car. Let me show you about it, because this is pretty, well, it's fully loaded essentially. Mean green, the special metallic paint, panoramic roof, must option. I think it really works with the lines. Yeah, it's got everything, all the assists, first camera, brilliant car. 280 horsepower from the 2.3 litre EcoBoost engine. Yeah, super fun. And I can't stop smiling. And I love still like the enthusiasm and the passion that these cars can kind of bring in what is quite an electric world now. But let's go through this car. I mean, yeah, this is pretty special to see. And yeah, so you get the 19-inch wheels on the P0s, and I had a little check through it before, because the important thing is you get this little FP sign, and essentially that's basically saying that that car's developed specifically for the Focus ST for this car, and they're on P0s. It's getting colder and wetter now in the UK, so it'll be interesting to see how this car, being a front-wheel drive car, how that gets on. But I've enjoyed them before. I've also had the pleasure of driving the Track Pack car before, which has the larger brakes. This is, can't get the Estate in Track Pack. Slightly smaller brakes, but from my experience of driving a Track Pack and driving a normal one, the brakes weren't necessarily the thing that needed it. It's a massive, I mean, they're fantastic, but yeah, these are pretty special as well. But the main part about it is that kind of Estate form. Now, I've personally been a big fan of Estates in general, mainly because of, yeah, kind of growing up, to be fair. My dad always had fast Ford Estates. I just quite like them. Practicality, get the bikes in the back. I don't have kids at this stage, but yeah, that's the whole idea. A car that can kind of do anything and still be fun. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, yeah, just it's pretty special. And yeah, it's got a nice design and a line look to it. And chatting to the owner as well, the first thing I said was going for the pan roof actually allows that sort of like the black contrast all over the front, and that just sets it a lot nicer against the green paint. It's not too much overkill, don't get me wrong, it's still a mean green, pretty full-on car, but it just slightly tones it down. You're obviously getting that bigger space as well at the back, being an Estate, so there you go. Really practical. Yeah, pretty brilliant. You've got the tinted rear lights as well. This is all stock standard Ford OEM car. You get twin exhaust pipes as well, which is nice being the petrol variant. And yeah, I mean, look at that, looks so cool. And little spoiler just around the side. I mean, what do you guys think? I think if you're gonna do it, go for it. You can get this car in other colors as well. You can get it in black. I quite like the gray, the metallic gray as well. I've driven those. If you want it a bit more toned down, get it in white too. You can't get the MK4.5 Facelift in the performance blue or the orange that they previously had, and that was in the Mark IV. So this is the most special paint that you can get. And yeah, if you know, you know when you kind of see this. Yeah, it's pretty special. But let's pop in and let's show a few little bits just initially. Just inside, you've got the big change for this is it's got an auto. So this is the 7-speed automatic, and I spent a bit of time in a Puma ST in an automatic before, and that had a big stick sticking up here. And to be honest with you, it took up quite a lot of space in what is ultimately a jacked up Fiesta, so it's not that big. This has a nice rotary dial, really nice sort of like feel sort of around it. It just makes it a lot more minimalist as well. Big thing of the seats, the Ford Performance seats. I forever go on about these, how comfortable they are, how supportive they are, how they work for absolutely everything. And fortunately enough, speaking to the owner, because he had a Mark IV before Focus ST that had the Recaros, and he said 100% so much more comfortable. You know, we've met halfway here as well. He's had a 2-hour drive, I've had a 2-hour drive. Perfect in terms of like comfort, so that's super good and pretty great. And I believe he got about 40 mpg as well, which you can't complain about that. The wheel there as well. We'll go through, well, I've shown a lot about the infotainment on these cars, but the pan roof just allows so much more light. It's a pretty dark, cold, late October here, and that's a big difference. That's a big must for me. I think if you're gonna go for these, it adds to everything, really does. And I mean, super special. You're also going to definitely get a lot more practicality just for ease of use, like getting into the rear. I personally think the rear doors are bigger, which means if you open it up, you can get straight in. You've got like plenty of seats, plenty of space. You know, that's the driver's driving position. Go plenty further forward if you want, or back, and you get that idea in there, and it's still nice and light. And if you look up here, it continues behind where there is no glass, so that's quite a nice touch in terms of like, it actually keeps, well, the whole thing is glass, but it actually keeps it in a way of, yeah, just keeps the lines. They didn't necessarily have to do that. I quite like the feel, I quite like the space. Yeah, no real complaints, Yeah, you've got the roof bars as well as part of it, so that doesn't change in terms of like if you wanted to put bikes on there or anything on there, or you could probably, well, you can fit certainly a lot of things in there. Now I'm going to see if I can get this first time, because this car has sort of like the rear tailgate where you can swipe it with your feet and you can straight away get under it. So I'm going to give it a go. Let's see how I get on. Yeah, I got it right. Just looking at the owner there, I was like, will I get it first time? Basically a small little knack to it to make sure you can get it with your feet. But yeah, essentially really nice. And like, yeah, again, security purpose wise, a lot of the windows are pretty fully tinted, and then it's tinted at the front. You then got your cover there, and then you've got a little bit there as well just to keep it. It's a lot bigger. As well, the owner was saying for like boots and stuff, this is like really hard wearing, easy to use. Similar stuff you'd get on the Focus estate in general, the Mark 4.5, but this for me has that sort of like full package of actually being able to, well, first of all, actually be a performance car, performance Ford, petrol engine, 280 horsepower through the front wheels. It's pretty special. Loads of practicality. I mean, it's huge. It's literally super special. But let's pop it down, and there we go, nice and easy. And then yeah, you get those, the lights look proper special as well, like LED kind of look around it with the tint. Definitely a massive positive before from other stuff. And I will put pictures on screen just of this car fully clean as well. The owner has cleaned it, but obviously very grateful that he's come this kind of long way. And it's obviously got a little bit dirty on the way, but yeah, you've got the LED lines around there, nice sharp sort of tail lights. The front looks super good, super cool. Yeah, and it's a Ford at the end of the day, you know, a fast Ford, a fast petrol Ford estate. Yeah, what a cool car. Really interested to know how this kind of compares in terms of like the hatch, just in terms of a bit of driving dynamics. You're obviously going to have a little bit potentially more weight because of it being an estate. It's got a slightly bigger panoramic roof, automatic gearbox might weigh a little bit more, but you know, we'll have to see, we'll have to find out. But let's just pop around a little bit around the side, and yeah, a little bit more in there. Door edge protectors, just an absolute no-brainer. I don't know why like all cars don't have it. You can see as it goes there, it just tucks out. It's a good material, it means you can just lean it up against the side, particularly like a big car like this. That's helpful. It's the exact same in the rear for the big doors, and it's definitely all the car you need. Yeah, you can obviously be a person who goes for the SUVs. I like the low down stance of this and still have the practicality to kind of go through it. Wheels again, just a little bit on those, really special. Yeah, 19-inch 235 section tyres. Going to be obviously more of a summer orientated tyre, but I have driven, as I've mentioned, the track pack version, and that has the P0 coursers. Now they would definitely be a lot more challenging in wintry conditions, but yeah, I mean, super special to kind of see this car and to go around it. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what this drives like. Spent a little bit of time as a passenger just to get a little bit of a feel, but yeah, I think seeing how this drives is definitely going to be the next step. So yeah, let's go for a drive, and yeah, let's go from there. Right, so first drive in the Focus ST estate in an auto. You join me with the owner as well, so yeah, we've just been out for a nice ride. So let's see what this is like. Foot on the brake. Yes. Straight into drive. Oh, I like the tactile feel. That's really nice. That's really nice. That's not necessarily what you straight away think.
No, you just think it just spins.
I'm gonna go straight for sport. Is that okay? Yeah. And you said you haven't tried race.
No, I still haven't tried race yet.
Race is certainly a little bit different. But yeah, so auto handbrake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. We're all okay. So I have driven around these roads, as you know, and you've taken it up here as well. And I've driven a lot in the hatch and a lot with the manual, so this is going to be really interesting, and I do have a bit of a knack to see what a car is like quite early on. I know we're a bit slippery. That's a good gearbox. That is, yeah, like straight away. Definitely notice a bit more weight at the back. So that's definitely instantly, it's like, oh, it's definitely a different car. It's like feather the throttle, you can't go flat out, and it drives good. I noticed that as a passenger as well around these roads, you feel like you can really hook up.
Yeah.
Like you haven't really lost anything. And again, for a petrol car, it's like it's got so much torque low down, you can still fly.
Yeah, it's got almost as much torque as the diesel I had before.
Yeah, it's... Well, so far, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't seem inconceivably different to the hatch in terms of just like the initial sort of side. You don't get the adaptive.
No.
But it feels like a hatch in sport mode, with basically on its more firmer suspension setting. Paddles responsive in manual mode.
Yeah,
it's almost it's too fast. It's like a little bit on the throttle, and you know it's going to go. Brakes are good. Oh, so it's down.
The harder you brake, it'll downshift earlier.
It's working. Wow. Okay, that picks up. Yeah, it must be. So when I was in the Puma ST, which was in the auto, that gearbox didn't feel like this one. It feels like this is more specific for the 280 horsepower. Paddles have a nice little actual feel to it.
I just think they could do with being a little bit bigger, maybe.
Yeah, but they stick out a little bit, so you can kind of get a bit of. So it holds the gears nicely. It's not like dropping down too early or anything.
No, it's adaptive, and it sort of does it how you're. Yeah. Depends on how you're driving.
And then the thing is, it's such a cruiser as well. Just like you can have the world behind you, can have bikes, you can have, yeah, and it just works. Yeah, I'm trying to think a little bit on the weight side of things. It's got a bit more weight on the rear.
Yeah, you can feel it a little bit.
What do you reckon? Auto gearbox plus the pan roof, with slightly bigger pan roof, plus the estate. Do you reckon it's what, 150
200 kilos, something like that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Because the thing is as well, oh wow, yeah, the front end, it sticks. So when I was driving the track pack around here, it's got P0 Corsa tyres on it.
Yeah.
And they're basically not slicks, but you know what I mean.
As close to it as you can get on the road.
There's no messing around with those. These are sort of like, they're definitely summer tyres. slightly? So do you think the wheelbase is slightly different?
I think the wheelbase may be slightly longer.
Yeah, because it definitely changed the complexion. Because I feel like it's more planted. But then, yeah, you get that feeling like, oh, suddenly the back could be there.
Yeah.
Because although there's weight back there, it's not like it's got a four-wheel drive system, or it's not like it's got loads of stuff that's really laying it down. It's basically just wheels, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no propulsion to it.
I think it's only ever started to step out once since I've owned it. But it was easily just put more power on it, pulled itself back out, and the dimensions feel okay. It's not feeling too like... It doesn't feel like a big car, really.
No, it feels a lot more stable, actually. That's one thing I'm getting. It feels like more mature and stable because of the rear. But then I see what you mean in terms of if you went that little bit too hard, you could probably get like the rear just sort of suddenly
step out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are pretty tight and twisty roads. Really nice roads. It's good. It's really good, and I'm not feeling like it's lacking power actually as much, because we spoke earlier. It's like even though it's a petrol, it's got so much torque. This 2.3, it feels like a diesel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because Ford use it in maybe their pickup truck somewhere
in America,
yeah, something like that, where it's more torque driven. So like you can have fun around something like that without having to be sort of like on the rev limit, which again is good to keep the wheels from spinning.
Yes, yeah, and I actually find it's hard to take it to the top of the rev limit because you're going too quick.
Well, yeah, well that's when you're getting the full 280. Yeah, and I'm not saying you need more power either,
no.
Particularly in these conditions as well, because you're going to be wasting it. It hasn't got a four-wheel drive system, so you can only do so much. It's nice and cool, man. Nice and... Yeah, I'm liking this.
Not what you expected?
Not what I expected, because I honestly, you never know. And well, first of all, I never thought I'd get the chance to even see an auto, let alone even drive one, and to be an estate, and to be a petrol. I mean, genuinely, I think you're probably one of a very few people who are going to go for this kind of configuration, and I love it for that.
It's very, very niche.
Yeah, definitely, but it makes sense to me because, again, we were saying you were 2 days in the office for work, so you're 3 days working from home, so the car's not getting as much use. So as a result, do you need that ridiculous economy you got from your diesel ST Mark IV you had before? Probably not.
No.
It's
and the enjoyment out of this engine is so much more.
Oh yeah, for a 73 plate car, it sounds good, and it sounds good from the outside as well. Sounds amazing, because it just picks up, because a big car, it's got bigger and it pulls. Because that's one thing to say with if you did ever go for something like an M330 kit or any sort of potential upgrades on that side, it didn't really change the torque, because the torque is already really high.
Really high.
So it's just going to change that peak power. But yeah, I do love these roads. I'm sort of like there's tentative, because obviously it's cold and wet and slippery, and it's your pride and joy as well. So you always got to be careful. But you can chuck this.
You can chuck it around. It gives you confidence.
Yeah, definitely. And the faster you go, the more warmer the tyres get. And
yeah,
the exhaust, we're hearing it would just start getting a little bit warmer. It just feels a lot more real. More people should be going for these. I know it's strange, but it's like these cars make more sense to me personally than spending even more money on, say, like an electric car or even hybrid. I don't think we're done yet with full petrol fun hatches or estate hatches. I mean, what more would you need? It's not like you need a second car with this.
No,
like,
it does everything in one.
This is absolutely everything. Gearbox feels much better than the Puma's one.
Yeah, I think the one in the Puma is still a power shift, whereas I think this is a proper gearbox.
Okay, I've gotcha. Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, I wasn't the biggest fan. It was, you know, it's okay. I do like the manual in the Focus ST. That's one thing I should say. It's a really good manual box. But first of all, for majority of driving, this is definitely easier. And I don't feel like I'm losing too much engagement on this kind of road.
No,
because it's not, when I'm in manual mode, it's not messing me about, if that makes sense. Like, it's holding it for long enough to sort of say, oh, you know, we're not going to go up or down for you.
Yeah.
And I've driven plenty of autos where they're like straight away, no, we're putting you straight up into, well, you said this can go into up to 7th, can't it?
Yeah.
if you wanted it to.
Yeah, it won't go into 7th in sport. Good noise. It really is a good noise. It's like, because is it quite as loud as the manual version with the pops and bangs? Probably not, but I've already done some sort of like outside footage. You definitely don't need any more power. No.
Because you go full throttle, you're going to spin in this kind of weather. I mean, I imagine if you really wanted to put some like winter tyres on it,
you might be able to do a bit more. Yeah,
you probably wouldn't spin it, but then again, we don't live in like crazy country land where it gets super cold and slippery. Yeah, I'm enjoying playing. Like, I'm having fun in this. And most, you know, you're not going to get all these roads, all this fun all the time. Yeah, I really like it, man. I really like it.
It's different.
Yeah, it adds that little different to what I believe is a really good car already, the Focus ST. Seats are still really good. The fact that I haven't even mentioned it, it's just like really comfy. You can go into corners, you feel comfortable, and it helps with passengers as well.
Yeah, you're not moving around.
You're definitely in shape. Brakes feel good. I do notice the weight, but I don't. So there's more of that element when you go into corners. You're like, okay, it might put a bit more pressure on like the fronts potentially. Such a unique car. I can't even believe like to reach out as well. That's like, because the thing is, I have these in my mind, cars to try. And I never get the opportunity, even when I've spent time with Ford Press Team, I'm never going to get the chance to drive. They're not pushing
the performance cars at all now,
which is a real shame. But that's a good test actually, because under those leaves, it's really slippery because of the shade. And I was pulling out in first, and it actually, if you're progressively on it, it was okay. They've done whatever they've done to map the gearbox to the engine is worked. Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's definitely working out. Yeah, it does. You kind of get some burbles, don't you?
Yeah, it does burble a little bit, but you definitely don't get any pops and bangs as such.
Okay. So it's never going to hit the rev limiter, is it? It's always.
It's like a fail-safe, I think.
It's always, and a lot of them do that. We've got a nice little. There's a bit we'll go to for the review.
It doesn't feel big to drive though either.
No, so I'm sort of like tentative. I'm like, oh, I better take a wide turning, but it's like the same dimensions in width, which is what matters when you're driving down a road. You have just got to be slightly more aware you've got a little bit more on the back.
Yeah.
But for a fun twisty road, this is so much more fun than anything like higher, bigger, taller SUV type of thing. It's a real confidence and inspiring car. And I liked it from the outside because it wasn't too obnoxious. I've had cars which are very loud. And
yes.
This is like, you'll know if you know.
Yeah.
If you don't, you might spot the paint. But
the colour helps with that. genuinely. That's why I do the videos. It's like I'm not paid by Ford. I'm just like literally just a fast Ford enthusiast, and this is all you can get. There's no Fiesta anymore, is there?
No Fiesta.
No Fiesta ST, definitely, because there's no Fiesta. The Puma ST, it looked like they were diluting anyway. The 1 litre that I tried, it's an ST line plus.
Yes, yeah.
It feels good in manoeuvrability as well. I'm going to go for a point of view, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Right, I'm going to try Racetrack. I don't know what else it actually adds. Do you know?
No,
I've still never worked it out other than the dials.
I don't know whether it even
maybe
puts the stability control into sports and stuff as well.
Oh, so it slightly slackens the... Yeah, you're right. Okay, so the traction, I imagine the traction would go into more of a halfway house. I don't think it would go fully off. I mean, I might actually find out. But yeah, you normally have to go into a setting to do that. And oh yeah, there you go. So, which again, it's nice to have a button. Yeah. That's something that's not on a lot of cars. Yeah, this is exciting point of view of the... It's almost like it's such a long name to go through it, but Mark 4.5 Focus ST Estate, auto, petrol 2.3. Yeah, we've got it all there. So I'll see if it. So it's holding the gear longer, definitely in race. Oh no, it's still doing okay. It knows what I'm wanting. It feels more planted in the corners. I genuinely think sometimes the heavier the car is, the more settled it is on the road.
Yeah, it's more downforce, onto the floor.
It's not skipping about. It's just like it's happy. Yeah, it picks up, and that was that was full throttle as well. So that was no traction lost at all. So once you've got it off first and second, it's still going. I'm really liking the gearbox as well. Yeah. I've driven a lot of autos, and I've genuinely always been like, I wish I had a little bit more control. I wish it wasn't just kind of doing its own thing. This one, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it changing. I'm happy with it doing what it is.
Yeah, and then you've got the option to change it when you want to do.
Well, that hooked up. that was like straight in. Yeah, so it's sort of trying to burble.
Because you just get just a little bit. You get, I think, especially once it's warm.
Because sometimes it it's just got that shove right from the back. Oh, I really like it. You can see it from my face, but you can't see it on the point of view. But I'm like, yeah, because it's what I think about when I think in my head. Like, if I want that one car that would do everything. I don't have a family at this time, but it's like one of those things: kids, bikes, life, shopping, but you still want to have fun. You still like your cars. Go for it. Just go for it. And Ford always have it like out of the box. They have a little bit better in dynamics, I would say personally. So even like your normal ST line, normal Focus is actually quite a good laugh to drive. Yeah. So when you then get that on top of then this, it's good. Yeah, you can probably tell. And these roads are very nice too. Yeah, she's got because you're right, it's got so it's an ELSD.
It's an ELSD,
but it's got it's clever, fancy trickery.
You can feel it pulling you out the corner.
Yeah, like they're both working together to get it down. They're not doing their own thing. The front wheels. Brakes feel good. I now know how good the track pack brakes are though. They're just insane. Like they're mega insane. These feel good enough.
Yeah, you've not. It doesn't worry you that it's going to not stop.
No. Oh, what a what a great car. We've got a typical junction. Will be nice with people. I like all the dials. I like the modes. He nearly just drove straight into the front. It's nice to actually really focus on the drive as well, but rather than thinking too much about the gearbox.
Yeah, you can just leave that to do what it wants to do and enjoy it.
Well, in race mode, it's really clever. I'm not getting upset with it doing anything, and even when it does change down, you've got the torque and the power, so you're not losing anything from that. Yeah, it's not even testing it. I'm not gonna lie. Even 60 round the corner, it's fine. It literally it's hooked up. If anything, I think this would be a bit. Trying to think of it, if it had 4-wheel drive, it would be a bit weird. It would weigh a lot more, and you would lose the slight edginess and slight dynamics.
You get from the back end, stepping out a little bit.
Because that's the thing. My Golf R will never do anything from the rear really with the Haldex. Whereas this, it's good. It's just the thing that I picked up on as well with other Focus STs. The steering goes a lot more light and a lot more electronic than back in previous eras of cars. I'm sure you've probably noticed as you've gone through.
Yeah.
So because I love quite a few of the Fords, you're not necessarily feeling as much of the front wheels, but you're sort of feeling it through your seat and through the suspension and through the way the whole car is.
The whole car feels, yeah.
Now you know where it is when you're certainly with the steering weighting up. Yeah.
It's almost a bit like point and shoot, just point in the direction you want to go.
Yeah, it's really simple in that sense. I don't even really know too many competitors, to be fair, of which offers this as a whole package. Front wheel drive, fast, fun estate in an auto. I mean, you've got stuff from Volkswagen, but they go a bit more serious than Ford. they take life quite a bit more seriously. And it's like, I think of like the Golf R estate, for example, and that is quite a lot more than this. A lot more. Only a little bit more power. It will definitely weigh more. Whereas this, it's got that right balance. And this feels agile. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Would it be even more fun with? So you can get the estate in a manual, can't you? It's possible.
Yeah, but you just can't have the performance pack still.
Oh, so you still can't get. So it doesn't matter what variant you go for. You can't get that performance pack.
There must be something about the estate that stops them offering that.
Yeah. No, it's a massive smile factor, and for 99.9% of the time, it does everything you could want in a car.
Yeah.
Like literally everything. You could easily take this on road trips. You could take this absolutely anywhere. Do anything with it, and there's no point you're going to go like, it's not really suitable for this occasion. It's like, no, it's absolutely fine. And yeah, this is because it's a long car. I found it okay. I've hopped in. And I feel good, and I feel similar to you. I know it's got the park assist kind of thing, but I don't feel that's like a deal breaker to make the car park for you, because it's got the reversing camera, it's got the 360 bits, as we'll kind of see as we sort of park and go through.
Yeah, it's only really when you look in the rearview mirror that you notice how long it is.
You're suddenly like, oh wow. You can fit like an army back there with people, and man, yeah, I'm processing a lot because I'm thinking hard with like, is this R1 or is it after? No, it's the one after. It's this one here. It's almost like it really wants to pop and Burble, isn't it? It's like it's there. It's like, please, please, Burble. It might be something well, it definitely is probably something you can map in.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's show a little bit of the reversing. So you've got this here, as you can see on screen. You've got the tactile kind of nature. Stick it into reverse. As soon as you go into reverse, changes all the modes, and then it will know from there. It can park itself because it's super clever. It's definitely really nice on the throttle for an auto. It's like, it's not jerky.
And that's with it in race as well. So
And
it's more responsive.
yeah, exactly. It should be more. It should be feeling like it's a little bit off. Oh man. Well, go for park.
360 camera as well. Your 180 camera.
So 360 camera. So the
180 camera, sorry.
So you can see through. Well, actually, we can probably hook up in the modes. Yeah, go for it. Let's play around. Roll on the mode. So yeah, you get that little bit of extra dimension, which helps a little bit more in the estate
and things.
Seeing all the infotainment, it's like it works. Dials work. Yeah, and I'm impressed more so actually with the quality actually, because Ford maybe potentially, like if I compare it to say like you mentioned, you were thinking of the Hyundai, like the i30N. From experiences on those, it's very plasticky, whereas I feel Ford is actually really they have worked hard. And I think from what I heard as well, they took like even there you got like lining in the side. They took advantage of things in like the previous generation Golf. They then implemented in the Mark IV Focus, and now with the facelift they've done this, and they're probably not going to make another
I don't think so.
Because they're not going to make another I mean, the next ST, is it going to be hybrid? Is it going to be electric? Is it even going to exist as a platform? So I mean, like if you're watching it and you want to get a car today, which is in 2023, you're not going to be able to get one. And I like how they offer it. I mean, I'm really surprised, to be fair, to go through so many different variations from hatch, manual. Can you get the hatch in auto as well?
Yeah, you can.
Hatch in auto, estate auto, estate manual as well, which again is quite nice with the option to do that. The hatch, you can go for the performance pack and the track pack stuff, so you can up it there. You get the mean green paint, which looks pretty special, and you get all the dimensions going through. Yeah, I guess as kind of like the summary from my kind of drive, I like the auto. Out of a lot of auto boxes I've driven, it feels good. And I noticed it as when you were a passenger as well. When I was a passenger and you were driving, I was like, it's not frustrating me.
No.
It's not like, oh, why have you gone down to sixth and I want to put my foot down and then I'm lagging. It's like it's very natural with the throttle. So I mean, I don't know the name of the gearbox. It's not power shift.
No, it's not power shift.
It's just a good gearbox. It works well with this engine, and it suits it. It suits it really nice. And yeah, I'm kind of like lost for words at this point. I think yeah, I think again, yeah, thanks so much for allowing me the chance to drive it and to really compare it. And what I'll do in the description, I'll leave a link to all the Focus ST types of drives I've done, because what have I driven? I've driven the manual just in standard form. I've driven a manual with a slight tune on it, so M330. I've driven the track packs quite a few times, a standard track pack with no with 208 horsepower. I've driven a slightly modified track pack with 330. I've driven pretty everything, and that's all the Mark 4.5 Facelift. So I've now officially ticked off like every kind of Ford Focus ST ever driving, and you know what, I wouldn't complain about driving them over and over again. You know, there's a reason why I'm kind of coming back to it, and I've tried a lot of cars and I like this platform. And whichever one you want, if you prefer the platform with a manual, I really like the manual. If you like an auto, this is one of the best autos that I've driven to like and enjoy. The estate, you get that extra practicality over the standard one. The pan roof is super cool, barely even mentioned that. That looks really nice. It helps with kind of like the lines. Yeah, I'll leave that all in the description. And yeah, like, share, subscribe and comment, let any questions that you have, and yeah, I'll be happy to help you out. But yeah, cheers guys.